All right, everyone, we have head coach Ben Olsen here for you. Do we have audio?
Great.
Yeah. All right, we have head coach Ben Olsen here for you. Ben, just your thoughts on that result, another road win. Yeah, just your thoughts on that 3 points here as we head back to
We were
Houston.
just thrilled with 3 points. It's such a hard place, and I think a reporter told me that we've not beaten this team since they've come into the league. Open Cup. Oh, here. Okay, there you go. So it's a very tough place to come, and even when I was with DC, it was a very tough place to come, and I don't think I got anything out of it either. So great effort from the boys. It was just. First half, really good tempo, really controlled the game for an away game. I thought our tempo was good, pace. We still could have had longer possessions in the first half, and definitely there was a goal or two more in the first. But and then the second, they turned it up and they brought more juice, made some substitutions that I thought made sense, and put us under it. And we weren't good enough with the ball there to again get those longer spells of possession to relieve some pressure, and then down the stretch it just became as the subs came pouring on for them, attackers, a lot of service in the box, long throw-ins, and really proud of the way we held the fort. Steve Clark had a fantastic game. I'm thrilled for Sebastian Kowalczyk, who does a lot of selfless work for us. Playing him in that kind of false nine. It's really nice to have him score his first goal for us, and I'm just thrilled he gets a reward for all the hard work he's done over the last month or two.
All right, thanks for that. Dustin, we'll start with you. Dustin, go ahead.
Hey, man.
Hey, Dustin.
Hey, you guys go ahead early and they get the equalizer. A lot of teams you see maybe sit back and play for a point, but you guys kept going. What does that say about the mentality of your team?
I wish at times we would have sat back a little bit more. I thought at times we were initiating the press at the wrong times, and we could have been more patient. But these guys they're Cowboys, man. They want to roll. They want to win games, and so sometimes you just have to kind of let them go. And I think there's a lot to this group as there was last year, and they got some moxie, they got some belief, and they're fearless. So this game could have easily, especially after the equalizer, with momentum away. How many times do you see a team give up a goal late, especially with that much pressure to the home team who's really pressing? So just a resilient performance there down the stretch. And we got to find the balance. We can't defend like that in most games. It just you can't do it, and so we got to take care of the ball and find some ways out. But hopefully that will help, and this will be a good one to watch film on and see how we could have made the second half a little easier.
And you talked just a little bit about Steve, but those two saves, right at the end of the game, was your heart in your hands, and just what Steve's performance tonight overall?
Steve was fantastic, and when you, more times than not, when you win on the road, you need a save or two, and from your goalkeeper. And Steve it was one of those nights that I've seen Steve have before where it was going to be hard. They needed something special there down the stretch because he was seeing it really well. Brave, a couple off the line, and coming out, I thought he commanded the box pretty well too. So overall, happy for him. Steve's a big part of what we're doing here, and he helps me quite a bit in the locker room. And he's a nice guy to bounce things off of because he's got experience and he's a winner.
All right, we'll go to Jorge. Jorge, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, congrats on the win.
Thanks for it.
Wanted to ask you about your thoughts on Steres and Blessing stepping up today and making their first start of the year.
Yeah, there's a few tweaks today, right? There's a lot of changes. Again, Sebastian going to the 9, Daniel Steres coming in and doing what Daniel Steres does when he comes in, and he gives us a real solid, experienced player who helps us out on both with possession and connecting passes, but also defensively he's a much better he's a much better defender, I think, than people give him credit for. Latif did great, and I'm thrilled for him too, just to get his first start in a while. He's, I think he got tired, which is normal for a guy who hasn't had a lot of 90-minute games, but he put a really good shift. In and around 55, 60, he started getting leggy. I should have got him out a hair earlier, and I think I end up costing us maybe the goal by not making an earlier sub. So the guys kind of bailed me out there. And the other thing I'd mention is Coco. And Coco played lower for the first time with us and really, I thought, played with real discipline. And we know he can connect passes and drive and add into the attack. Good range of passing, but I thought he was just really disciplined on the defensive end. We asked him to change up some of that in particular as we had the lead, and he just really gutted it out. So happy for him. Him and Artur had a nice relationship, so we'll see how that goes.
I wanted to speak about some knocks. How's Eric Sviatchenko doing? How's Mikhail doing? Sebas Pereira, Franco Escobar?
Well, we didn't want to play Mika that much, but sometimes you're forced into it. We think he got through the game, so we'll see how that goes. Eric came up with something, most likely a hamstring. Hopefully it's a minor strain, and we will get him back as soon as possible. We got to evaluate the soft tissue stuff. It's not, we all got to look at it and figure out why we're in this spot. And CONCACAF, as I've said many times, speeds up the progression on how quickly you have to get fit, and you get a lot of games early. It messes with your foundation, and I think we're hitting a little bit of that. So, but we're doing what we can.
Thank you, Coach. Safe travels.
All right, Juan, go ahead.
Hello, Ben. How are you?
Hi, Juan.
So I want to ask you real quickly about Ethan Bartlow. Again, it seems like every time you need him to step up, he has been stepping up with some great games, a great goal line clearance today. Can you tell me a little bit about how he's played and the mentality he's had?
He is. Last year, I've talked about this with Ethan. He just didn't get the minutes. Eric and Mika were playing at such a high level, and they were healthy. And as a center back, in some ways, you're like a goalie. And if the health is in front of you, it's hard to get on the field. So, he didn't get a lot of minutes down the stretch. He went into an off season, obviously not playing. Coming into preseason, he was still kind of quote unquote number 3, and this was his best game that I've seen him play since I've been here. So that's really encouraging. His passing's as good as any of the other ones. He was calm tonight in some of the 1v1 situations. He was again composed. I thought he was reading the game well. And he also was big in the aerial duels once they started pumping balls on corners and long throw-ins. So he held the fort really well too. So great night for him.
Last question here is about you subbed in Brad Smith towards the end of the game, and you moved Aliu to the right. How do you think Aliu did on the right, considering that he's been playing on the left of your team recently?
Well, it was a little bit of a defensive move. Brad can help us over there on the left, and they switched Young over to the left, and we needed some juice over there too. And he just gave, Eber gave so much tonight. He was exhausted towards the end, but he still kind of managed to deal with some overloads and again hung in there. But Brad did great. Brad's been more times than not a really good sub for us, and Brad's chomping at the bit to be a starter. I mean, he's doing a good job coming in, and it's a nice guy to look down the bench and have.
Thank you.
All right, thanks everyone. Wrap it up there tonight, and we'll have Sebastian Kowalczyk ready for you next. Thanks.